Tired of being told you need to open up or you need to talk about it when you're stressed? This advice really isn't working, it just makes things worse. And here's why. The truth is, stress isn't something just to release. The truth is something you want to understand and act on. Many people are taught to deal with stress by talking about it, avoiding it, or putting other plasters on it to cover it up. But we all know deep down by doing this, you're just delaying the problem. By doing this, it's inevitable that the stress is just going to keep coming back and you're going to have the same problems over and over again. And that is because there's likely an unresolved issue and you're just ignoring it. So instead of trying to waste time putting plasters over the problem, I want you to try these 3 simple things. Number 1, pause and analyse what's going on. Number 2, identify what the root cause of the problem is. And number 3, put an actionable step in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now that's 3 things that you can implement straight away. However, later on in the video we're going to discuss more things that'll help you avoid being in the stressful situation. If you're sick of weak stress management tactics and want to turn your stress into your superpower, let's talk about it. Let's schedule a free consultation call. We can analyse what you're currently doing together, and I can help you implement simple strategies into your life so the next time you become stressed, you see it as a positive and you look at ways where you can fix it. So you're probably thinking, why should I listen to you? Well, 1, I'm not an expert, which might be a good thing. 2, I have real life experience in many extreme environments where I have found simple ways to navigate stress and use it as a positive thing that helps me identify when I need to change something. Now, I've done this through many years of doing sports. I've done this in the military. I've done this in the oil and gas industry where I worked in the middle and North Sea for 19 years. I've done this in my own businesses. I have done this when dealing with children, building relationships, and also with my coaching clients. I've had many years of success stories when actually the transformations I've helped people with their mental health, which has probably been more impressive than some of the physique changes, although they have been pretty awesome too. And I'd probably say some of the client results in terms of how their mental health has changed, how they deal with problems, and how they act when they become stressed, has been one of the biggest successes I have had over the years. A little bit about my story as well. So I was used to manage an oil platform, many people on there, big budgets, extreme weather conditions, 110 miles away from the nearest bit of land. And basically you have to deal with everything that's thrown at you with the resources that you have on site. It's a pretty dangerous place to be, even when things are going right. So you have that, and then you have managing teams, you have to manage budgets, and various other things. So while I was doing that, I was also building a big business. I had property businesses. I was at university doing a master's degree. I was also helping be a project manager for decommissioning. Now, I'm not telling you these things to boast. I am telling you these things because I want to explain to you that having real life experience in dealing with things day in, day out in these extreme conditions gives me a lot of experience to help you be successful in your own life. On top of that, I have many qualifications in various things ranging from close protection, many different management, undergraduate qualifications, various other qualifications in coaching in terms of health and fitness, nutritionist qualifications, bodybuilding coaching qualifications, and many other qualifications in dealing with people. However, I am a strong believer that any qualifications you do have, real life experience far exceeds. So one of the things I have experienced, not only just in society, our education systems, the governments, the different industries I've worked in, how they have evolved over the last 20 to 30 years, and what I've witnessed and experienced is quite scary. And I'm sure you've probably all witnessed it as well. So the things we're being told to do now seems to be, for whatever reason, making us weaker and weaker. We are losing the ability to be able to deal with problems ourselves. We are losing the ability to be held to account for anything. We don't want to take responsibility for anything. And we seem to have lost the ability to problem solve and find solutions. So these are many things I've experienced. The other things I've experienced is when you do come across a problem especially when you're in difficult, extreme circumstances, like the offshore, military, and various other places I've been. It is critical that you identify the root cause of a problem, you analyse it and make sure you have drilled down to find that you have definitely got the root cause of the problem, and you implement something as soon as possible to ensure not only that that doesn't happen again, but you learn from it and everyone around you learns from it. Now, if you're speaking about your own personal mental health or your stress, that everyone else learning about it may be not so important. However, the other three things are key to dealing with stress. So recently I've been involved in many discussions. This is one of the reasons I made this video. It is something that I am quite passionate about, but I'm passionate about mental health in a different way to many people. I'm passionate because I see the damage that we have done to people and the damage that we continue to do to people, giving them poor advice that stops them taking responsibility for their actions. It stops them analysing what they are doing, critiquing what they are doing, and it stops them taking action to fix it. The damage that I see we are doing to people seems to be getting worse and worse, and I have found that people who have worked at different backgrounds and they have different experiences in life will have slightly different opinions on how you deal with stress. And there is many different ways that work for different people. However, I want to drill this down in a simple form that just encourages people to look for solutions, problem solve in their own way. We're all different personality types. I am a high D, or almost off the chart D, task orientated person, and I'm also a very high C type task orientated person. My natural abilities are to analyse data, analyse behaviours. I am very good with information, and then I am also extremely good at problem solving, immediately looking for solutions, and my focus is always on completing the task. So that is quite an unusual mixture, and I do find myself in most environments I've been in, I'm quite different to other people. This does in some ways give me a better chance of being able to deal with stress because I have the natural personality traits which makes it very easy to find solutions, act on them, and continue with the task. So that's enough about me. By the end of this video, I want to help you have a different perspective on what stress is. I believe that all the things that we feel that are now under the mental health bracket are things that are there to protect us. So we have stress, we have the feeling of depression, we have anxiety, we have fear. We have many things like this which I think are designed into our bodies that are self-defense mechanisms that when they give us a signal, the brain gives a signal, this is telling you something isn't right here, and you need to make a change. If you can change your mindset to thinking about stress as, my body is trying to tell me that I need to make a change. I think when you have this mindset, it gives you a totally different perspective on what stress is. Many people see stress as a negative thing, it's overwhelming, and they don't know how to use it as a useful tool. So with the mindset I explained, this allows you to step back and think, okay, so I feel stress, I feel fear, whatever the feeling it is, if it is a feeling, you can do something about it. So when you get that feeling, you step back and you say, okay, why am I feeling like this? Okay, I'm feeling like this because of this, this, and this. So let's look at an example. You're in an office, you've been given many tasks, your manager has not prioritised them for you, he's just basically told them he needs them all done. So straight away there we have quite poor management. I'm not going into too much detail in these, you'll get the point. So you have all these tasks and you know you have a deadline by Friday, it is now Thursday afternoon and you've only completed 2 out of the 5 and you know that it's going to take you another couple of days at least to finish the tasks. So you are going to start feeling stressed, you're going to start feeling time pressure. You know, you might start feeling fear because you think you're going to lose your job. You're going to feel overwhelmed. That is normal. However, if you step back and analyse, you think, okay, what can I do about this? So at that time, what can you do? There's many things you can do, but let's look at the immediate things that you can do. So you can step back and you can go to your boss and say, okay, you've gave me these 5 projects to work on. They are all massive projects. I'm doing my best effort to try and complete them all. However, you didn't tell me the priorities of them. Could you tell me here which ones are business critical, and I will work on that first. And then you can explain to your boss other things and allow them to direct you. Your manager, your boss, should be telling you what is priority. Now this is just an example. There's many, many examples of different things you're going to see in the workplace. So now you go back to your desk and you have a priority to focus on. You've spoke to your boss, your manager, he's well aware of what's going on, and at this point as well he should step in and offer you support. So there, just by that one thing with stopping and going to speak to somebody and looking for a solution or looking for it to be managed effectively, you have released a lot of pressure on you. So now you focus on the highest priority one, that's finished and it's out the way. You can then go in whatever order that they're ranked in priority, and you're going to be comfortable. You can also stop and you can say to your boss, I need more support here, you've gave me too much work. And quite often your manager, your boss will be thankful that you've actually asked for that. Because if their goal as a positive manager is to get the job completed, and they can help support you with other people in the team and everyone becomes successful, that is a positive outcome. So that is just one example. Now say you deal with that situation slightly different, and this is the advice I hear from many other people. So you're in that situation and you decide you're just going to take some time out, you're going to go for a walk, you're going to speak to your wife, say on the phone, you're going to nip to the gym, you're going to meditate, you're going to do some breathing techniques, you're going to go for a cold shower. Okay, so you come back and you're now back at your desk, you've been away an hour, maybe two, and you still have the same workload. However, you've got 2 hours less to complete it than what you had previously. And you still haven't found what the root cause of the problem was. You haven't identified that, you've not analysed anything. If you were smart, you'd be analysing this while you're taking your 2 hours walking or taking some fresh, whatever it is you needed to relax. You would have been analysing it then. However, people tell you to switch off and step away from the job. So now you're back at the workplace or back in whatever environment was stressing you out, and you still have the same work to do, but you have 2 hours less. So in theory, yeah, that's great. You tell people to take a break, they go away and put a plaster on whatever the problem is and they return. In the real world, however, you have created yourself a massive problem by doing that. So other things people get stressed about is quite often financial things, health, reliance on drugs, alcohol, various other things that can stress people out. It might be their poor relationships, their work or whatever, their performance at work, they're potentially up for redundancy. So, some of these things are going to stress you out a little bit, they're going to make you worried. That's normal. So yeah, we're going to come across stresses in all walks of life. Everyone's got different experiences and everyone has got different abilities in how they deal with it. Now, rather than stopping, let's talk about it, let's meditate, let's breathe, from now on, I want you to take responsibility for your own life. Stress is now your new best friend. I want you to have a different mindset. Stress, fear, anxiety, depression, they're all super positive things and they are your body telling you we need to change something. So instead of playing victim all the time, you step back, you look at what has gone wrong here, how did I get into this situation? You're most likely got into that situation because of poor management, poor planning, you have maybe not been as efficient as what you can in doing certain things, you probably spent too much time on your phone, you have maybe not been looking after your health, you have maybe been neglecting your relationships, you've maybe not been socialising, you maybe not spend enough time with your kids. Whatever it is, you've become reliant on drugs, alcohol, medication, whatever it may be. It might even be that you're not quite competent yet, you're lacking experience, you're new to the location you're working in, and these aren't just about work, this is everything in life. So you have all these different things. Use your imagination, break things down, analyse it and think, how did I end up here? And be honest with yourself. You need to be honest. Without that honesty and that ability to analyse, critique yourself and really break things down, you will never really find what the root cause of the problem is. One way you can do it, the 5 whys, a good way of doing that. You basically find what the problem is and keep asking, why did this happen, why did this happen, why did this happen, until you reach a point where you can't answer why anymore. And there is your root cause of your problem. While you're analysing this, you might find many different underlying issues while you're there. If you fix every single one of them, you then take immediate actions that are going to fix things there and then you step back, complete the task. You then continue with whatever it is that is stressing you out, get it completed, get it off your chest, and then I want you to step back again and say, okay, how do we stop this happening again? This bit here can be one of the most important parts. Yes, you obviously need to analyse and find out what the real problem is, but this bit here, because what you might find is since you got up in the morning, you have been performing really poorly in all aspects of life. And actually these were all the things that created this stressful event later on in the day. Now, once you go back and analyse and try and learn from your poor behaviours, because 9 times out of 10 the stress is often caused by things within your sphere of control. It's not normally somebody else. If it is something out with your sphere of control, you still have to make best efforts to do everything possible to control that, or protect yourself in some way, or make a change to protect yourself. So yeah, most of these times with it being your fault, it is very important then you take responsibility and you fix these things. So once you get used to this, you start realising that stress is very positive. It is almost like progressive overload in the gym. So when we're talking about building muscle, we put the muscle under some stress, we progressively overload it, we adapt from that stress and we grow. It is exactly the same when we're talking about stress in the real world. The more you experience stressful situations, the more that you act in a positive manner about the stress and implement these things that I'm explaining to you, you continue to grow and grow, and with experience and experience of stress and a positive outcome, all of these mental health issues like your anxiety, fear, all these other things start to dissipate and you start getting more and more confident in this. And these things that used to stress you out, you'll look back on and you probably won't believe you actually got stressed out by these things. The more that you form these habits of doing things in a positive way, the more this becomes natural, even easier and more confident you get. To the point you get where actually almost nothing stresses you out and you're so comfortable in how you control your life that actually when tiny things do start to stress you out, you can step back, have a minute to think about it, and act decisively to fix that. Once that solution mindset kicks in and it becomes a natural trait, it is so powerful. One thing I used to like to say to people when they come to me with problems is I would say solutions, not problems. These people who were actually pretty positive guys, just had a different mindset to me, started coming to me with solutions, not problems. And then things started to get really positive. It is a mindset change, it is forming new habits, but once you manage to do that, you will see a totally different view of the world. Don't let people make you weak. Don't let people make you think you need to be a victim. Take responsibility things. Be held accountable. Stop believing it's normal to be weak. Stop being a victim. Take ownership for your own life, and you will become a stronger, much more competent and confident version of you. You'll become somebody that people look up to. And if you continue these behaviours, it's likely you become a strong, independent leader that other people strive to be like. I do understand we're working with many people on this subject that it is quite often not so easy to implement some of these things due to lack of understanding or because it is so unnatural that you do need some guidance. So as I said at the start, if you want to schedule a free consultation call, I can help you as part of our online program to implement things into your life that helps you deal with stress. And the reason we do that is because quite often the people that we have signed up as clients are not achieving their body composition, fitness, health goals because their mental health is holding them back. It doesn't need to, we can help you fix that. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have different ways how you deal with stress, or you have different experiences in life that you would like to share below, I'd love to hear them. I am very passionate about trying to undo a lot of the negative work that I have seen many people who are doctors, mental health experts, psychiatrists, whatever they call themselves these days. Just a quick recap before we go. Stress can be your superpower. It is what you do about the stress or these thoughts and feelings that will define you. There's no way that our bodies would have things that are designed there to harm you. Almost everything in our body is designed to protect ourselves, and that is why we have these thoughts or feelings, to help you act and change something in your life. Now it's your turn to identify them, and I really hope that this has been helpful for you. Thanks for listening, and I would also love to hear your examples of how you overcome stress.